came in on his behalf, right? And then they go into how they negotiated the treaty. The warrants is an ongoing declaration of war against individuals by squatters on the land. A warrant is a war rant. A rant is an ongoing statement of war. The Supreme Court ruled that the organic people over here is perpetual enemy combatants. And the first time I seen it in law until the 1990s, the late 90s or the early 2000s, it was an enemy combatant was mentioned in the law in the Supreme Court way back in like the 1800s. So this is why when we try to fight for civil rights, we fighting to be included in the corporate fiction under our strawman capacity. When we do that, we tell the system we are imbeciles in law because we don't know their jurisdiction is defective, because they have no statement of jurisdiction from the executive branch of their own government, and their own government Supreme Court said that they was a foreign corporation operating on native land. This is all in their law. This is rulings by their courts. So they already acknowledge that they don't belong here, and that if we ever get our shit together, there ain't nothing they can do but get the fuck out the way.
Amen.
So all that paperwork shit is a paper trap that locks you in with a paper chain.
That's what I figured, because I mean, I've been seeing things about it, but it's like, if it's over, it's over. We ain't got to keep doing all of this with y'all. And I see a lot of people's like, people ask me all the time, like, what made you change your mind, or what made you look at life differently? And like, I don't think it. I feel like we all are we come here and we are just, like I tell people, you're not even yourself. You're not even you. Like, so much of you is not you. Like, so much of you is your school, your religion, your ethnicity. And so much of you is not you. So when you really take a step back and really want to figure out you, because I tell people all the time, spirituality was not about finding self. It was about getting what is going on here? What is this? What is everything that's going on? And really wanting to understand the oneness of everything. So I thank you for that. I really didn't have any questions. I've been trying to get on here with you for so long to even ask that.
Why you ain't inbox me? You've been around that long. You know I've answered as many people as I can.
But you're a busy man. I know people be bombarding you with so much.
That don't stop nobody else from reaching out.
I gotta
I
ask.
hard to find.
I know you right up there. You right by me, like right by me.
Mm-hmm.
But
right up the road.
I appreciate you so much, because everybody think they so tough and so gangsta. So we gonna see how tough everybody is very soon. We gonna see.
They must ain't hear what Mustafa Farrakhan said.
What she say? I'll be trying to get off of here.
Look, Mustafa said the Messiah, the most sane out of all of us, he got some crazy ass followers.
100%.
So,
a lot of people didn't think I was, like, because I don't say I'm spiritually gifted, because we all are spiritually gifted, but I didn't know who I was. And people be like, oh, you think you're, because when I tell people that we are gods and we are also chaos energy, they kind of look at me like, what are you talking about?
That's the same thing.
Thank you. Where do everything come from?
Only difference is when you say we gods, you're speaking from a religious perspective. When you say we chaos energy, you're describing us using physics. That's it. That's like saying I'm dirt. Now I'm talking about geology. So when Clans 13 Next labeled them gods and earths, that's the same shit. The gods emerged from the earth. The child was born to Mother Earth. Same shit.
The universe.
Right? The chaos found order.
That's deep. I needed that.
So they be talking and they be thinking you be saying something different from them because they don't even know the fucking language they talking.
People hate when I ask them all the time. I like, what does that word mean? People get so upset. Everything doesn't have to have a meaning. I'm like, I just want you to know what you're doing, when you're saying what you're saying, why you're saying what you're saying, because they know that we didn't need. And I tell people think I'm losing my mind. I tell people we never had sex. We didn't need all this stuff we're doing. We weren't doing this stuff. So
we've been fucking a long time. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, we have been.
Ever since the women decided to have men as companions on Earth, we've been fucking. But
centuries.
there was a time where the women didn't have men on earth to fuck with. So wasn't no fucking going on. It was
Do you feel like
probably a bunch of hugging and kissing, touching and licking, but wasn't no fucking going on. But one day, a group of women sat down and was like, "Hey, we need to create somebody. I'm tired of feeling breasts. I want to feel some strong pectoral muscles. I want a motherfucker with some motherfucking girth on his arms. I'm tired of touching them on soft, dainty arms. That's, so now they decided to make man. That's why it's two creations in Genesis. The first one was when the sisters got together, the original guys, and said, let us make them in our image. And they created them in tribes and families. It was Genesis 1:26-27. Then along come a fake God and fucked up genetics, talking about let us make a Gulum like that man over there. Fucking idiots. They not gonna never be smarter than Big Mama.
Ever. Ever.
Everything they know is already in her mind. And my mama say, check out your mind, because I'm gonna be with you all the time.
One final question I want to ask. So my mom, she suffers, well, I don't think she suffers from any mental disorder, but she has, for years, she has always said that she sees things, hear things. And I feel like she is, like, I know for a fact she is my big mama. Like, I know this because I feel like she is the person that all the spirits come to, because she doesn't take death well. Like, she doesn't really deal with stuff like that well, but they have diagnosed her with schizophrenia, bipolar 2, depression, PTSD, all these things. So she's currently trying to stop taking the medicine.
You want to take them one by one and we tell you what they really is?
Yes, please. Let me actually write this down, because I'll be trying to talk to her about this stuff, and I'm really into herbal medicines and things like that, because I want her to get off the medicine, but I don't want her to spiral and not really know how to deal with her chaos energy, because I don't think she know how to grasp it.
What the medication have withdrawal effects. That's what you're more worried about. That's
the thing. So she won't take it for like a couple days, and she won't sleep. She can't sleep. Only way she can sleep is if she take the medicine.
That's because her higher self is wide awake.
Mm-hmm.
She gotta sedate the body. She's not sedating her higher self. She can't put that motherfucker to sleep. Remember what Dick Gregory say? Once you put these glasses on, you can't take these motherfuckers off. Believe me, I've tried everything but a crowbar to get them off, and they won't go nowhere.
They going nowhere. They won't. They don't. I tell people all the time, I've always been this person, but I found myself trying to water it down.
Yeah, I never tried to water it down, but I tried to ignore it and run from it. And the faster I ran, every time I bump into the motherfucker in front of me. Look, I thought I left you behind me. What the fuck you doing here?
Okay, so schizophrenia, what would that be? Like, what is that?
It's called clairvoyance.
Okay.
It's a psychic ability to hear other channels in the universe.
Clairvoyance.
The key to conquering schizophrenia is do a lot of math problems and to determine which one of the voices is yours. So you got to systematically, when you hear voices in your head, ask them who you are, where you come from, and why you here. And if they don't answer, then you got to tell them to leave and don't come back, motherfucker. Make sure you put motherfucker at the end.
My mom loved listening. She loved that one, so she gonna love that. Okay, so I got that. Bipolar. She had bipolar depression.
Right. So the bipolar means that she's emotionally sensitive, where something can trigger her to go from one extreme to the other. The remedy for that is fasting that gives you control of your emotional self.
And then PTSD.
That's probably the only real one she might have.
Okay.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, aka post-traumatic slave disorder, is the condition that they manufacture by instituting trauma in order to make you trauma bond instead of truly bond. A trauma bond love affair doesn't turn out well.
I know.
So post-traumatic stress disorder, if she can get her psychic self-defense up, she will begin to conquer that naturally. Because all that is she hasn't been able to get over a past trauma and it's still interfering with her thinking process.
Okay. I think I got everything on here. I think I do. Because I've been trying to really help my mom develop, because I think, like, she tells me all the time, like, you're me. Like, literally, you're me. Like, 100%. I like how, because you were on live with the girl from Florida a couple days ago, and she was saying how she feel like, well, you said that her parent, because since she was a favorite, her parents' parent decided to be born again through them. And I feel like that's me, because when I was younger, I lived with my grandparents. And like when I was born, they literally took me and I lived with them. So like I find myself feeling like because me and my grandfather were like this. And he would always tell me like, you're gonna be somebody. And he always like believed in me in a way where we would have conversations like we're having now. And I was only like 6, 7, 8, and we're having real conversations. Mm-hmm. And I was telling my mom, like, I think that, because she'll slip up and call me her mom. Like, she'll say to me her mom's name, or she'll call me her father. Like, she'll say these things. And I sometimes feel as if maybe in a way I am.
And not only that, genetically, both of her parents can talk to her through you, and she's psychic. So she know which one of her parents is using you as the oracle to talk to her. That's why you end up being called sometime her mother or sometime her father. Right, because they can communicate with her in a language that she understood comes from them, separate from how you talk. Like you might not notice the subtle changes in the word selection. Her being a psychic sensitive, because all the shit that you just described means she's highly psychic sensitive. And so she can distinguish when her mama talking through you or her dad talking through you in order to get a message to her. She can pick it up, but she don't consciously know it. But subconsciously, she instantly knew what was going on.
Because both of her parents have passed on. Like my grandmother and my grandfather have both passed on. And she tells me all the time that she will be at home and she will see my grandfather with her. Like people think she's crazy. I don't like saying crazy because we all crazy. We all insane. We all ain't got no marbles. But
I'm gonna tell you who crazy.
Oh.
Them motherfuckers you see in DC is fucking bat loony ass lunatics.
Sick.
Them the motherfuckers crazy. Them motherfucking priests sucking on them little boys' pee-pee is insane. Them rabbis doing the same thing as lunatics. They off they fucking rocker. Your mama ain't doing none of that shit. So she can't be too fucking crazy.
She's just protected in different ways that many don't understand. Because she told me early on that I was going to be this person. Because I used to get into a lot of trouble. But I always tell people, if you don't know how to transmute your energy, you're always going to remain in. You're going to stay. Because when you're a genius, and we all are geniuses, we all are divine beings, and you don't know how to transmute that energy, you're going to get caught up in this world. And she always would tell me, like, the stuff you're doing, you're not going to be doing that for long. And I used to always think me and my mom were going to clash, like, for so long. But once I really understood that I can only be healed through her, that's when I used to sit and I'm like, because it was time I didn't talk to my mom for 3 years. So I was so angry on the inside. I never felt like that in my life. I felt more angry than I did when I was into it with her, living in the same house as her. So once I understood that, I started looking, I'm like, man, I am you. And I couldn't be mad at her anymore.
The age of spirit. And the Bible say that if you're going to worship the Creator, if you're going to worship, you need to worship in spirit and truth. Well, we're going into the Aquarian age. That's pure spirit. All we got to do now is marry the spirit of the Aquarian age to the fervor of the truth. Now, I wouldn't want no nation like to bomb the Vatican. That wouldn't be cool. I'd just take me a couple of these thugs and clear the land over there around it. I go in there myself because I would like to drag that sucker out into the square, cut that symbiote out his head, hold it up for the world to see. That's what's been causing all of Earth's problems for thousands of years. Thousands of years this little rotten bastard been causing problems. You see, it worked like this. The Yahweh dude, he's calling himself Maitreya over in Africa. Scroll down my page, couple months, you'll see all the information, all of the verification that you need to prove exactly what I'm saying, so you don't have to just accept my word. One of my teachers said, if you're going to use right knowledge, you got to use the facts. And, in the system we in, they believe in facts. And so scroll down. Look, tell me what you see. Maitreya was an ancient Babylonian deity that we call Enlil or Ninurtu. And he came down here and he took the reins from his brother who was Enki. Now Enki wasn't a bad dude. He was just a scientist. And he followed a code of science. But he was under the order of this guy that they call Enlil. And Enlil give him an order, and Enki being righteous by nature, he's naturally righteous. He has to obey the superior order of a superior command, even if he don't agree. He told him that he couldn't do what the Queen of Heaven and Earth could do. He said, I don't care, figure it out, get it done. And he did the best he could, but it caused a lot of problems. In the process, it created a lot of birth defects, genetic infirmities, and inequalities in the genome of the human body. There was only one person on this planet at that time that could repair the genome. And a lot of the historians call him in Egypt Thoth or Jehuti. In your Bible, you see him in the Old Testament as Melchizedek, the King of Peace. And when you see this, you begin to realize that in order to clean the mess up, somebody had to make a major sacrifice, which is your Christ story. Because when you go back, every genetic event recorded in Kemet or Egypt, every genetic event, you see Thoth standing there. What happens when he get done doing the work of the repair, right? What happens? It's all fixed. Everybody has now earned the absolute right of ascension. So if you're willing to put in the work and the effort and you're willing to earn it, you can get as high as you want on this planet and in this plane. But if you want to be a lazy, selfish, self-centered slob that feels entitled, then you're on your own. You're on your own. We shouldn't have to tolerate this, and we don't. Marry the truth to the spirit, expose the beast. I'm willing to do it, but I can't do it unless the people want it done, because I'm not going to go against the will of the people. If you wish to be oppressed, that's fine. But Sun Wukong never fails. You need to understand that. Now, they say in the book, everybody was going to be waiting for somebody to crack the code. And they gave the book to the only one that could read it, and the one that read it was me. I read the book. I got the proof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in my temple of self and lay back. Because at this time, in this day and age, we do not have to tolerate this injustice, this divide and conquer, the separation of the human families anymore. All royal families of the world gave their blood so that everyone could have a right to ascend. America became special when we granted the 13 colonies. We got sacked. We lost the war. The treaty settlement, treaty of peace and friendship. Somebody didn't like that. So King George sent his troops over here and installed an interim government under the false president George Washington. We are not under that anymore. That's expired. We are under the Continental Congress. That is our rightful standing in this land. It's the Continental Congress. It was the Iroquois Confederation of Nations. And as long as we sit here and accept this tyranny, we're going to be terrorized. They're going to call us everything. See, we're not supposed to have anything called the police. And that's why they keep shooting people in the back. And then it's bleeding over into the real enforcers of the code of righteousness that we call the Sharif. Or you call them the sheriff. Now let's talk about the sheriff for a minute and trace them back. If you trace them all the way back, they go back to the tents of Kedar. The Tenth Kadar was established to protect wayfarers from tyrants on in the desert trails of trade, what they called the Silk Road. And they guarded the holy city of Mecca